Hi everybody, I've been getting a lot of requests about my staple items that I buy in my groceries. I do all of my grocery shopping at Walmart, and so I thought I would do kind of an overview of the staple items that I like to keep in my house to stay on track. And I have in the information a PDF linked so that you can print this out if you want, and it has all of the points for Blue Plan. So let's start with fruits and veggies. Fruits and vegetables besides potatoes are all 0. Unless you put them in a smoothie, then they become points. So I like to keep strawberries and bananas and apples on hand fresh, but of course my grocery pickup's tomorrow, so I don't have those. I just get the apples in a big old 4-pound bag, and my husband and I eat those throughout the week. For my overnight oats that I eat almost every day for breakfast, I actually like the frozen fruit. I just think it's super easy to throw in there, and it stays frozen for a few days, so when I make it ahead, it doesn't get super soggy like fresh fruit does. So I just buy like big old bags of whatever fruit they have and whatever fruit I like. Cherries, blueberries, strawberries, the assortment mixes. Then I like to keep onions on hand. I put it in basically all of my dinners because I love onion. I do bell peppers. I keep that fresh. I do minced garlic, but I don't like mincing it myself because I'm lazy, so I just buy it pre-minced. It's the Great Value brand. And then I like to do a lot of frozen vegetables that are super easy to just throw in the microwave. I like Brussels sprouts. I get some of the assortments. Most of these are like $1 to $2 a bag, so they're super easy for weeknight dinners. Corn and broccoli. Last but not least, we do potatoes. I normally just do the big 5-pound bag. If I could get this out, I normally just do the big 5-pound bag, and I just open the bag and keep it in this in my pantry. It keeps them a little bit dark, which is supposed to keep them fresher for longer. So not sure if that actually works or not, but I normally get to keep my potatoes for about 2 weeks fresh, which I think is pretty good. So next up we have breads and grains, which personally is my favorite because I am a total carb girl, which is why I had to go on Weight Watchers in the first place. So first up is the bread that we use. I do the Sara Lee 45 calorie bread, and I like it most because it comes out to 1 point per slice, which is the lowest that I've ever found. And it freezes and unfreezes super well along with all of this stuff because I tend to buy my bread and my grains in bulk, and then I just freeze it and take it out as we need it. Next up, I have Extreme Wellness tortillas. They're frozen right now, which is why they're not flimsy, but they're only 1 point per tortilla as well, which is super good for, I make enchiladas with it, quesadillas, tacos, anything like that. Next up, I do the ballpark buns. If you buy the Great Value buns, they're only 3 points. There's 4 points for the ballpark, but I just find the ballpark to be a little bit bigger and better in my opinion, so I take the extra point for that. Next up, I do English muffins. I do this light multigrain brand. It's 100 calories and it's only 3 points. I think it can be 3 points if you do the high fiber ones as well. And then I also do everything thin bagels. These are super good for breakfast sandwiches with eggs, or you can put some PB2 on there, or you can make a lot of things with this, and it comes out to only 3 points per bagel, which gives me my bagel fix. And then for noodles, I normally don't go whole grain because it comes out to the same points, and I like regular pasta a little bit better. So for like these penne noodles, 2 ounces uncooked is the serving size, which is 6 points. And I find that 2 ounces uncooked normally comes out to about 1 cup cooked. So next up on the list is the meats that we use. I do a ton of ground turkey. You can do 99% or 98% lean, and those both come out to 0. And I try to find the 98 if I can, just because it comes out to a little bit cheaper and it's still 0 points. Then I do turkey smoked sausage. These ones are super good. They're cheddar. I believe they're 3 points per link, but I'm not positive. And then they also have a Sam's Choice brand that is also pretty good. Chicken breast, I buy it in bulk and just freeze it. I use my vacuum sealer so it stays fresh for long, and then I just write the date on it, and chicken breast is 0. Turkey pepperoni, you can do this Hormel brand, or they also have Great Value brand, which comes out to a little bit cheaper, but this is 2 points for 16 slices. I also do Great Value turkey meatballs a ton. I didn't have any in my freezer right now because I just used them up yesterday, but that comes out to 4 points for 6 meatballs, which is a pretty good amount. We do chicken broth and soups a lot, or I use this in my Instant Pot when I cook shredded chicken, and it's super easy to use in the Instant Pot, and I think it makes it a little bit better than if you just use water. And this is 0 points for 2 cups. I think this is just Great Value brand. I do turkey bacon. I normally do Sam's Choice, but I couldn't find it, so we got this one at Jewel, and it normally comes out to 1 point per slice, but I would check depending on the brand you use. Tuna normally comes out to 0, but I like these easy tuna packets. I get them for $1 at Walmart, and the ranch ones come out to 1 point per packet, and I think they just have a little bit more flavor if you're just having it plain on a sandwich. Okay, so next up on the list is the canned goods that I like to keep at home. I love to keep tomato sauce on hand. I use this for basically everything. I use it for my bolognese sauce. I use it for my pizza sauce. I just add spices to it. It's better than pasta sauce or pizza sauce because there's no sugar added. So then you can just use your spices or meat to make it your own. I also use this in chili. I use petite diced tomatoes in my chili and in my bolognese sauce. I like to keep beans on hand. My favorites are pinto and dark red kidney beans. I use this in my chili, and all these canned goods so far are 0, along with chicken is 0. I love to add this with some non-fat Greek yogurt and some Frank's Red Hot for a buffalo chicken dip, and it is so good. You can use it just as a dip, or you can use it in a wrap. It's such a summer staple for me, and I think it's better than if you try to just cube up your own chicken. I think this just keeps it more moist, even though I hate that word. Pure pumpkin, I use this to make pumpkin muffins, which are my favorite fall dessert. They're only 2 points per muffin, and they're so good. And then cream of chicken, I normally try to find the 98% condensed fat free, but I haven't been able to find that with everything going on, so this is okay, and it's 9 points for the can, but that normally is a dinner that would serve me for 4 nights, so it really doesn't come out to that many points when you add it up. So next up is another one of my favorite categories, and that would be dairy and dairy substitutes. I used to be a big milk drinker, and I switched to unsweetened almond milk, and that is only 1 point for 8 fluid ounces. And I also use this in my overnight oats that I eat every morning. Eggs are a big staple. I eat these for lunch a lot, especially while we have the stay-at-home order going on. It's quick and easy, and it's 0 points. I love these light and fit Greek yogurt. The strawberry cheesecake tastes so good, and it's only 2 points. I'll have that, and I'll dip an apple in it. It's so good. This is a staple. It tastes kind of gross by itself, but it's super good, and you need this to make the 2-ingredient dough. It's 0 points. And then I also use this in my buffalo chicken dip and just a lot of other stuff. If you mix it, you can't really taste it, but I would not eat it on its own. Next up is my creamer. I used to do Premier Protein, and that is 2 points for the whole thing, but I was finding that it got pretty expensive. So this is 2 points for 2 tablespoons, and I think it's worth it for me just because it's cheaper. I do sugar-free Cool Whip is a huge staple for me. I probably have this every single night along with my Halo Top. The sugar-free Cool Whip is 1 point for 2 tablespoons, and then the Halo Top is 3 points for half a cup. And I'll pair this with a Built Bar with banana and strawberries as a Built Bar split if you follow me on Instagram. And it is literally my go-to every single night dessert after dinner. If I don't have the points, I won't add the Halo Top in, but if I do have the points, I love to add that. And then for cheeses, I try to do fat-free for the most part, and I just get the Great Value brand because it's cheaper. The mozzarella and the mild cheddar are both 0 points for a 1/4 cup, and cheese can get pretty high in points, so I think it's worth it to go fat-free. It tastes a little bit, the texture's a little bit different if you're just eating it on its own, so I make sure that it's melted into my casseroles or whatever I'm making so that you can't really tell the texture change, and I think it tastes okay. And then this Tostito con queso is so good. I add it in basically anything that I make that's Mexican, and this is 2 tablespoons for 2 points, and it's really makes everything really cheesy, and it's a good alternative if you don't want to use regular cheese and you don't really love the fat-free mild cheddar. It's a great substitute when you're making Mexican food. I know this is kind of controversial. Some people love cottage cheese and some people hate it. I really like it. I like to mix it in my eggs, and it is 3 points for 1 cup, and it's pretty filling. So I like to add that in with my lunch, and it makes it pretty filling for me. And then a must for me is Parmesan cheese. I could not go without it, especially since they make a lot of Italian food. And I lived in Italy for 4 months. I just cannot live without Parmesan no matter how many points it is. And this one is 1 point for 1 tablespoon, but I normally end up having more than that. So next up is my condiments. I love to make all my food taste super good, so condiments are a must for me. I love this G. Hughes sugar-free barbecue. They have a bunch of different flavors of this, and it's 0 points for 3 tablespoons, which is a good amount. I use this in my shredded barbecue chicken or really anything that I need barbecue. Sometimes I dip it in my pizza, and it's super good. I also love the no sugar added ketchup. It is 1 point for 5 tablespoons. I think if you only have 1 or 2 tablespoons, it's 0. So this is a super must for me. Sugar-free syrup. It's just the Great Value brand. You get 1/4 of a cup for 1 point, and I add this in my overnight oats to make it sweeter, and it's super good. Sriracha is a must for me. I love to put it on my eggs. I love to put it on different casseroles, and this is 0 points. Soy sauce, I love. I get the reduced sodium or less sodium one. It's just the Great Value brand, and this is also 0 points, and I add it into my stir fries. Sugar-free jelly. I love to put this on my toast in the morning, and the sugar-free makes it 2 points for 2 tablespoons, which is way better than the sugar added. Salsa, I put this on eggs and any of my Mexican meals, and this is 0 points, and it adds a ton of flavor. This Bolt House Classic Ranch, it's actually a yogurt dressing, and you cannot taste the difference at all. I think this tastes completely like ranch, and it's 2 points for 2 tablespoons, which is super good. And I will dip my pizza in this or put it on a salad if I'm having a salad, or I actually use this for dipping in potatoes and stuff like that. And last but not least, my Red Hot. I love this stuff. I dip my pizza in this too, and I love it. It's 0 points. As you can see, I get the big old one because I use it as a dipping sauce, and it is so good. So my last category is just kind of a random other snacks catch-all kind of category, and we will start off with this Great Value powdered peanut butter. It's just cheaper than the PB2 or the PB Fit, so I like to buy this big one. And this is 1 point for 2 tablespoons, and I like to also add this to my overnight oats to give me a little more protein to last me till lunch. Next up is panko breadcrumbs. I like to add this to my chicken parmesan, my chicken nuggets, my boneless wings, and this is 3 points for half a cup, which goes a long way. Coffee, 0, have this every morning. You can really have any kind of black coffee for 0, and then I just add the creamer I mentioned before for 2 points. And Diet Pepsi, don't come at me for drinking Diet Pop. I've always loved Diet Pop. I have cut back a ton. I drink water most of the time. Then I'll have this once or twice a week with dinner. And then let's see, veggie straws. We love these. We have 4 points for 29 grams, which comes out to quite a bit. And then I also don't have any right now, but we also love the pop chips that we get at Walmart, and that's 4 points for 32 grams. I love graham crackers. Sometimes I make a s'more out of my Built Bar, and that would be 2 points for 2 squares. Quaker oats, which is what I use for my overnight oats. You can use the overnight kind or just the regular kind. This is 4 points for half a cup, and I think it's really filling, so I don't mind spending the points on breakfast for that because I normally eat a later breakfast. And then if I'm running behind when I normally am going to work, I do this lower sugar instant oatmeal, and this is 4 points per packet. Sometimes if I'm hungry in between lunch and dinner, I'll do this unsweetened applesauce, and this is 0 points per thing, which is a nice little filler snack in between lunch and dinner if I'm trying not to use up my points. I am out of self-rising flour right now, but I did want to note it because that's how I make my 2-ingredient dough, which is how I make my pizza, which is what I've been talking about, that I dip in everything. And the 2-ingredient dough pizza is so good, and it is a Weight Watcher must. And that is 6 points for half a cup for the self-rising flour. And then last but not least, I love to make these for desserts. I normally just make what the back says for the brownies, and then instead of adding the 1/3 cup of oil, I do 1/3 cup of unsweetened applesauce, and depending how big you make them, they normally come out to like 2 to 4 points per brownie, and these are super good. People also do a can of Diet Coke with this, but I don't really like it as much as if you just replace the oil with the unsweetened applesauce. And then this is how I make my pumpkin muffins. It's this pumpkin, there's eggs, unsweetened applesauce, and water. If you want a full recipe on that, let me know in the comments down below, and I can kind of go over how I make that. So that's kind of it for my staples. I know that's kind of a lot. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment box below. And also let me know if you want me to make any of the recipes and show you how I make them of any of the recipes I mentioned as I was kind of going through all of my staples. And thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. While I've been busy filming for you guys, this is what's been going on over here. All the dogs are laying down and saying, "Can you stop recording yourself and come play with us?"